you going? Welcome back to the stream. So, what do I say? I'm gonna get back into some design stuff on the LDM project, the live drum machine. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm James. I'm a product designer and I love designing music equipment and music devices, music instruments, all that kind of stuff. So if you're into that, you're in the right place. I hope you enjoy watching some CAD modeling as well, because that's what we're going to be doing. And let's see how long I last, because I'm feeling a little bit off today. Not really sure what's going on, but yeah, hopefully we can still get at least an hour or so in. Where I left off last time, oh sorry, just to give, if you are a new viewer, just to give a little bit of background, I'm working on a project which is a drum machine, and it's a hardware device, like something you can put on your desk. And I can just bring up some inspiration images. Here we go. This is what I showed in the first episode. So basically it's some kind of electronic device, this sort of size, these kinds of elements, maybe some playable elements, maybe some looping kind of elements. It's not my original idea. I'm working on it with 4 other people, and one of those guys, it's kind of like his brainchild, so his baby, and I'm just helping out with some of the concept generation stuff, some UX stuff, and mostly mechanical stuff. So mechanical design, industrial design, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's the basics of what the project is. I haven't opened up SolidWorks yet because last time on the stream I had 2 problems, and I want to quickly address those. One of them I've sort of solved, one of them I haven't. So one of them was that I wanted to rename one of the parts in SolidWorks, and normally there's an option where you can like change this setting in SolidWorks. It allows you to change the name of parts in an assembly. That option doesn't exist in SolidWorks for makers, apparently. At least I wasn't able to find it, and some people in the forum said that it doesn't exist. So I just thought I'd show you the alternative way of renaming stuff. This is the part that I want to rename, and Windows Explorer has given me the spinning wheel of death for some reason. So I'm just going to keep talking while that sorts itself out. So yeah, I'm going to use a different method for renaming the part. The other thing is that I had a problem where I wanted to copy sketches, like a sketch that has equal lengths to lines in another sketch, and I wanted to make many copies of that. I asked a few people on forums and stuff, and I wasn't able to get a good answer yet on how to do that. Some people suggested using a derived sketch, which is good if you just want to have one copy of something that's in another sketch and it's parametrically linked to it. But the problem is that I want to have like 4 copies of something from another sketch in the one sketch, not as 4 separate sketches. It's a lot of words. Maybe it doesn't make any sense, but haven't solved that problem yet. And my god, what is happening in File Explorer here? Let me just try to sort this out. Might just need to restart. Restart File Explorer. God, isn't that great to have a stream hiccup so early in the stream? Okay, we're back. So what I want to do is right click this, and then Windows 11 hides a lot of options, so I want to go show more options. And then there is a line here called SolidWorks, and that shows you some SolidWorks specific functions or actions that you can take. And one of those is rename. And the reason why you do it this way, instead of just clicking the file and renaming the file, is because this will update the references in SolidWorks. So when I open SolidWorks, it's not going to go, hey, this file doesn't exist anymore. Where should I find this file? If I rename it here, it's going to update all the links for me. So SolidWorks itself knows that I've renamed this file. I didn't just do it in isolation. So I just added a 1 there because that's how I want it to be named. And now that's been renamed to 1. And yeah, that should be consistent in SolidWorks. SolidWorks should know what's happening. Now the only thing, yeah, I need to launch SolidWorks from here, I guess. The only thing that I'm not sure about is that this SolidWorks connected thing is also kind of doubling up the files in like the SolidWorks cloud, and sometimes it looks at the SolidWorks cloud and says like, oh, there's a naming conflict here or something. So I'm not entirely sure how to fix that yet, but it hasn't seemed to break anything for me so far. So hopefully it's all good. And I have no idea what's happening with SolidWorks. Here we go. Great start to this stream. If you're watching, it looks like there's a couple of people on YouTube and Twitch. If you want to, you don't need to, but feel free to jump in and ask a question or suggest something to talk about, or just tell me about yourself or whatever, because it's not a strict script that I'm working from here. I'm just going for it. So yeah, feel free to chime in and don't be afraid to redirect the conversation. Okay, so now I've got my skeleton open, and here is the assembly where we got up to last time. So yeah, last time we made a double layered top plate. So it's actually 2 plates sandwiched together. And that means we have a little shelf here that we can attach our display protector onto, which is just a sheet of flat plastic that will protect our LCD monitor, our display. We have our PCB under here, and I put in some jacks, some audio jacks, which seem to be clipping into the top plate here. So I might move the PCB down again. And then I think what I'll do is either look at some MIDI jacks or some mechanical switches to put in here, some key switches. So let's move the PCB down a little bit. So I've gone back to my skeleton. And I want to go to my PCB right, and I'll show my enclosure right. So yeah, we can see that the jack is clipping through that top plate. And if I delete this dimension, I should be able to move everything down. And then I can just put like a 1mm gap here. Still not exactly sure how high the PCB is going to be, because yeah, the mechanical switches and stuff are going to need to fit in here, and I'm not sure yet exactly how tall they're going to be, because we need key switches, but we also need key caps. It's going to be like mechanical keyboard switches. And I'm not sure if the key switches should attach to this plate and then solder into the PCB, or whether they should be below this plate and the keycaps should poke through so that it's kind of flush on the surface. Not entirely sure yet. So what to do? if anybody has an opinion, I can either start doing mechanical switches, or I can do some knobs, or I can put some more jacks. I was thinking about putting some DIN MIDI jacks in the back. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds to respond if you have a preference. If you don't, then I'm just going to choose. We can start doing like a little session online, browsing through parts that we can put in here. Hi, I'm Jordan. Hey, Jordan. Thanks for that, Jordan. Also interested in drum machines. You seem pretty cool and should do product design for cool audio companies. Yeah, I should. Thanks for that, Jordan. Jordan knows that I've worked on some devices that he, I think, enjoys using. So hopefully he's a good, how would I say it? You're a good spokesperson for my design. I don't know. Is the design of the products that I've made good so far? Maybe, maybe not. But Jordan, you got a preference? Should I do some MIDI jacks? Should I do some buttons or some knobs? What do you think? Okay, no takers. Let's see. Just going to bring up some websites here. Wait. What's that brand of MIDI jacks? Jacks, you reckon? Let's see. There's a specific brand of MIDI jacks I'm trying to remember. I think it starts with I. Don't know why I'm thinking that. Hang on, just let me bring up my Discord where I have it saved. All right. Let me show you something here. So this is DigiKey. If you don't know it already, it's a website where you can buy electronic components. And this is a search that I saved earlier for basically MIDI jacks. Now, a lot of devices use these kind of MIDI jacks because they have the pins on the bottom there, and it's what's called a right angle jack. So you can have the PCB on the bottom, and then you plug in the jack from the side or from the right angle, which would be sorry that the stream is delayed. I tried fixing it, but haven't gotten there yet. What was it going to show? So yeah, right angle jacks would be perfect for this because the pins go down into the PCB and then the jack sticks out the side. But the problem is that if I can just show this picture permanently, there's a lot of space at the top here where this hole is. You can put screws into the holes. This adds a lot of extra height to the jack, and the PCB has to be all the way down the bottom. So your device has to be at minimum the entire height of this, plus the material thickness on the top and the material thickness of the bottom, which is pretty high. If you're doing a really thick device, that's fine, but it's possible to save a little bit of space by using jacks like this. And you might be thinking, well, this is different though, because the jacks are on the back. So if I put this down on the PCB, then the jack would be pointing upwards. And then you would have some cables coming out the back, some cables coming out the top. I have a solution, which is not my own invention. I've seen it on other devices before. But you basically, if I quickly bring up Paint, my second favorite CAD tool. So if I have a flat PCB like this, and I've got my audio jacks like this, just gonna remove that for now. Yeah, so I can either put this big MIDI jack on there, which is like this, or I can put a second PCB like this and put a smaller MIDI jack, vertical MIDI jack like this. Sent a DM on Discord. Okay, just let me check. Yeah, yeah, I see the stream is delayed, but I think let me see if I can do something to fix it. Let me just check something. If I change this setting, will it end the stream? We're about to find out. No, it didn't end the stream. Okay. I don't know if it fixed anything, but we'll see. So yeah, as I was saying, you have you considered what? Let me just do this. Okay, so imagine now I have a horizontal PCB and a vertical PCB, and then I have jacks mounted like this with the pins going through. This means you can get a lot more, or a lot less vertical height. It does mean you need to add a second PCB here. Have you considered MIDI 2.0? Yeah, for sure. MIDI 2.0 right now is like, I think that there is dev kits available. I think there's just not that much documentation at the moment, and also I'm not going to be the one doing the firmware, so I think for sure if we can, we'll probably try and do it, but I guess MIDI 2.0 will be over USB, and we will have a USB port as well. So I think regardless, Yesa wants to have the MIDI jacks for older equipment to connect, but likely if we can, we'll have MIDI 2.0 as well over USB. Yeah, so with these vertical MIDI jacks on this second PCB, you have to add another PCB here, and then you have to connect this PCB to this one somehow, so that adds cost. But as you'll see here, these jacks only cost 160 each, whereas these are 240 each. So you do save 1/3 of the price on the jacks. The PCB you have to add, but you also gain like this reduction in overall height. So I think this is what the way I want to go. I want to try at least. So need to go to CUI devices. Which is it this one? Interconnect, connectors. DIN connectors. So I'm hoping to find a CAD model here. Do I have some filters here? 4 pages. I just have to look through them. Unless I can search SD50BV. Interestingly, these are also, like, these are both made by CUI devices, or CUI. So that price difference is like from the same company. Let me just try to search it. So it's SD-50BV. Oops, what did I do? All right. Do we have a CAD model? Looks like we do. We want SolidWorks. Actually, I'll just get a step, because that's a bit more generic. And I can make my own SolidWorks model from that. And I will also download the datasheet. Yeah. Okay. Datasheet ended up in the wrong folder, but it's alright. Just let me get the actual step file. Okay. Jacks. Extract. Yeah. Put the data sheet in there. Just keep the naming consistent. Okay. And let's check it out. So I'll probably do the same thing. I'll do the same thing that I did in the last, with the last jack that I downloaded, where I'm going to reposition it and then make it into a SolidWorks file. So what do I want to do? Is that one solid body? Bit lame. That's what I want to. Is that what I want the top plane to be? I think so. Oh, sorry, Elk, I didn't see a message there. I only own one MIDI 2.0 device. I heard it's the future. Lol. Yeah, to be honest, I've been like raving about MIDI 2.0 for ages, but it just takes so long for them to I don't know, implement it, I guess. How am I gonna make this? Actually, no, I don't want that. I want this to be the front plane. Probably the other way. Yeah, MIDI 2.0, I'm super stoked about MIDI 2.0 because supposedly it should mean that you'll be able to have devices with a display, like a controller with a display, where you can like link a button to something in your door, and then your door should send back a message to the controller, which can put a label on the display being like, okay, this button is now, I don't know, volume or something, you know? So not only do you have a control linked to something in your door, but it should tell you on the device what it's linked to, that's what I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, haven't seen so much of it yet. I didn't even know that you could buy MIDI 2.0 devices, so are you talking about this pad thing that you have? I forget the name of it. Just going to show you a trick here for locating things. What do I want to do? I want to split this face. Split line. Yeah, so now I have a little line here with a point. So what's the problem here? So then I can mate this point to the right plane and this point to the front plane. Then I want to like merge the faces. How do I do that? I forget. Just trying to make this like a continuous surface without these lines breaking it up. Okay, hopefully that's all good. There's a couple of faces missing their color here. Okay, that looks good. This is my kind of fixed step. Temp. So yeah, I just saved it as a new step so that I can have it like as something that I can re-import, and it's all good the way that I wanted it to be. Yo, Ulysses Wise? Ulysses Wizzy? Jesus. I don't know how to say that. Thanks for the follow. I didn't see if it was on Twitch or YouTube. Thanks for joining in, watching. I butchered the name, didn't I? Interesting content. Thanks, man. Are you a SolidWorks user yourself? So I just got distracted about what I'm actually doing here. Ulysses Wise? Am I saying that right? SolidWorks, Siemens, NX, and Katya. Whoa. That's a lot. Are you doing it for work, or? I hope so, because that's a lot to do as a hobby. Okay. Why didn't the appearances save? Whatever. Gonna add some material here. Not mastering PLMs or complex modules, but still learning, and yes, for work mainly. Yeah. Wait, non-masterizing PLMs or complex modules. Man, I don't even know what language that is. I think I must be on the peak of the Dunning-Kruger effect. I think I know what I'm talking about, but I don't really. I'm just adding some material. I added a ABS material onto this just to give a rough weight estimate. Gonna change some colors just to make it look fancy. Let's do aluminium matte. Yeah. What's non-masterizing PLMs? This is a bit beyond me. That's not what I wanted. Product lifecycle management tools associated to each CAD software. Right. Yeah, to be honest, I haven't dived into so much of that myself either. Um, I know SolidWorks has like the sustainability add-in and stuff where you can do life cycle type stuff, but I generally don't get too much into that. In NX is Team Center. Okay, cool. Um, and do you enjoy it? Like, I mean, the reason why I'm getting into the streaming of CAD stuff, like, I've been using SolidWorks for about 11 years, I would say, and I've worked mostly in product design, doing CAD modeling stuff. But right now, I work as a UX designer, a UX engineer, so I rarely get to use CAD unless it's like making a prototype for some, you know, some HMI or that kind of thing. So, but I love CAD and I love product design. So this is for me is like my outlet of if I'm bored at work, I get to come home and design something that is fun to design. Even if I'm just sitting here painting a DIN MIDI jack. Yes, designing is very funny, but sometimes I pass long periods at work not designing, which is the funniest part for me. Yeah, I feel that too. Like, you get to do the fun part of starting a design, and then you get to do the less fun part of like design for manufacturing, like optimizing everything for manufacturing. And then when it comes to like making all the manufacturing drawings and stuff, like the technical drawings, then it gets a little bit dry. But yeah, so it's not always the fun stuff, but getting better at that, at like making the drawings and everything, also can be rewarding as well. All right, I've got a jack here. I reoriented it so the top plane is actually where the PCB meets the jack. The right plane is through the middle of the jack, and the front plane is through the middle of the jack as well. So we've got a good component here. I'm going to save a SolidWorks model of it. Gonna standardize the naming a little bit. And then then what? What I might do actually is I'll download the other jack from CUI devices just to give a comparison so you can see how much less space this one takes up. So the other one's called SDS 50J. This one doesn't have a 3D model, so I'm not going to bother. But I'll show you the data sheet. Alright, so this one is 21.1 millimeters from the PCB. That's how much space you need above the PCB. This one is 16 millimeters tall. So if I had a PCB under this, it would only need 16 millimeters above it. But I can even put it lower because I can have it in the mid plane of the PCB, because I'm going to have a vertical PCB here. So I can even make it lower than 16 millimeters. You'll see when I get there. Back to Ulysses. what kind of stuff do you design, if I can ask? I know you can't always, people can't always say what they work on at work, but I'm curious. Now I'm gonna make a little skeleton model here to bring into my other skeleton model. Just make a co-radial circle here. Right now I'm designing mainly toolings for factory. Not the most fancy product in the world, huh? Yeah, but this is still fun. Like, you mean for like, for like assembly lines and stuff? As long as it's mechanical stuff, I think it's fun. I'm also gonna put the inner circle on here. Oops. Whoops, wrong button. But the good part is you need to find solutions for the purpose from the point of view of the engineering and make the design so it's really nice in the end. Find solutions for the purpose from the point of view of the engineering. Yeah. Yeah, that's like, it's a problem solving exercise, right? It's fun trying to wrap your head around how you're going to make things work and optimizing things. Like I said before, the design for manufacture part can sometimes be boring, but also it can be like very rewarding. Like you have this problem where we can't figure out how to build this, or we can't figure out how to make this work, and then you have to really do a lot of abstract thinking and try a bunch of different ideas, and then you might come up with like a really beautiful solution, and it's so rewarding when you're like, look at this thing that I designed, like fixes the problem. This thing will go here, and yeah, that can be super rewarding. But it makes the challenge of design for manufacturing, because you could have the solution, but then you figure out that it's not manufacturable, and you need to keep looking into good design. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got what you mean. It's so good. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Figure out that it's not manufacturable and you need to keep looking. Yeah. Yeah, or maybe it is manufacturable, but it's just too expensive, or whatever else. Like, but yeah, then it's just a challenge of trying to make it better. Okay. reference top. Reference right. You'll install SolidWorks and then follow for more content like this. Awesome, man. That would be great. Would love the love to have you as a consistent viewer. What do you prefer actually? Like, you said you're used to a bunch of different CAD softwares. What's your go-to? Like, what do you enjoy using the most? For Surface, the best is Cartier, I think. Really fun and creative. Yeah, a lot of people say that about SolidWorks, that the surfacing is a bit difficult or a bit annoying. For the rest, I would say SolidWorks is much better. Yeah, I sort of got that vibe as well. Like, yeah, I think SolidWorks. I haven't used Cartier before, but I used Creo for a little bit at uni, and it felt like it was a powerful software and you could do a lot of stuff in it, but it was very unintuitive, and like the UI, and I found it a little bit difficult to get used to. Now, it might just be that it has like a steep learning curve, but once you learn it, it can be really good. But with all of these things, like, that is a big consideration, because if it takes you a long time to learn things, then that slows you down. So it's not only picking a tool that can get the job done the best, but also it needs to get the job done, and that is a time thing. But Cartier, I'm not too sure about. I haven't tried it. But yeah, a lot of people like using Rhino for surfacing, but then Rhino's not parametric, which to me is just like a complete no-go, because if I can't go back into the feature tree and edit things, then that just seems like a pain in the ass. Right, going back to my skeleton model, and I'm going to insert this jack. I'm only going to import the sketches and the planes, and I'm going to locate with the move copy tool. Okay, this is a little bit confusing. What do I want to do? I want to align the top plane with the front plane. And I want to align the right plane with the right plane, and the front plane with the top plane. Did I already do that? Let's see what happens. Actually, I might just bring in the solid bodies just so that I can see what's happening. I totally agree with that. The point is the UX of Siemens, NX, or SolidWorks, or Inventor, or PTC are very similar, and once you know them, some of them, you'll be able to learn the others quick. But Katia is a bit different, really old interface, but was my first one, so maybe special for that reason. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's always that factor as well, that like the first software you learn on is going to be, it's going to feel like the most intuitive because that's what you're used to, and that's how you formed your understanding of CAD. Yeah, for me, like my first CAD was Google SketchUp, which is pretty dodgy, but but my first like professional CAD software was SolidWorks, so I'm probably a bit biased to SolidWorks because of that. Do MIDI jacks normally have the pins at the top or the bottom? The bottom. So I want to flip this around. There we go. There we go. And I need to turn off solid bodies. Cool. So now, this is going to be a challenge. I want to go, yeah, PCB top. And I'm going to copy my sketch from the front. Wait. I should really put center lines on these. Yeah. Oops. So Ulysses, I have a question for you, and it's okay if you don't have a good answer for it. It's just that I've been trying to figure something out in SolidWorks and I can't find a good idea for it. But basically, so I have this sketch here, which I'm using as like my reference sketch for my MIDI jack. And then I have this PCB sketch where I'm laying out all the components. And what I do is I insert a sketch like this. And then let me just turn off some of these. Then I make everything equal. Like I make this equal, I make this equal. I make this equal. This is a bit of a long thing to explain. I'm sorry. This should be equal to this. This should be equal to this. Okay, so then I have like a fully constrained thing, and I can move this around and it keeps the same proportions to this, right? So that's perfect. That's what I want in this sketch. Like I don't have to have this thing dimensioned, and I can move it around to where I want and lock it into place. The problem is that I want two of these. So if I copy and paste it, it doesn't have those external relations that I added, so I have to do it again. This is something I don't know how to solve yet. Somebody suggested that I use derived sketches, which doesn't really work because a derived sketch is only like one sketch. It can't be like, I can't have multiple derived things in the same sketch. Try to make visible the constraints and copy and paste. Ah, okay, let me try. I'm not sure if it'll copy, let me try. You mean like try to copy these as well? Like the equals? In NX is working but not sure in SolidWorks. Okay, so I copy this. Item on the clipboard cannot be pasted. So when I selected these, it wouldn't let me paste it. If I just copy that and paste, yeah, it doesn't copy the relations for some reason. Not sure if that's something that could be made possible by SolidWorks. You can select the constraints when they are visible and copy and paste them. You mean like copy this onto this? No, I don't think it'll let me copy those constraints. It just says like item on the clipboard can't be copied. Ah, that's how it works in NX. Okay. What's NX, by the way? Oh, Siemens. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's possible in SolidWorks or not, if I'm just missing something, or if they just haven't implemented that. But if that's the case, would love it if they did implement that, because I do this a lot, and it would make my life a lot easier. But at least now I have to. It just takes a little bit longer. Copy the sketch from the tree, maybe. Yeah, but then I can't get it into this sketch, if you know what I mean. Like I want to copy this, because this contains the equal relations. If I go into this sketch and copy that, that's what I have already done, but it doesn't give relations back to that. I mean, a derived sketch is perfect. Like if I click on this sketch, this one, and then click on the top plane, and then go insert derived sketch. Can I do that? No, maybe it doesn't let me do it if it's from another part. Is there a duplicate geometry in the sketch tool? Maybe. If I take this, for example, and then control click top plane and go derived sketch, this does exactly what I want. Like this is fully constrained, the same as the sketch that I derived it from. It's just that I can't add a second one in here. So derived sketch doesn't really work. But what you suggested, is there a duplicate geometry in the sketch tool? There is something that somebody mentioned in a video. Shortcuts. Sketch. There's like can't remember what the name of the tool is. There's something where you can like, oh, so I can copy entities. Yeah, it could be copy entities. I'll try that. But there's something else. Sketch entities, I think, is another thing. Let me try those. I think copy entities is in here. Oh, and sketch entities. Alright, so let's go copy entities from here to here. Yeah, but it still doesn't keep those external references. Maybe there was a setting that I missed. Copy entities. It says keep relations, that was on. I can turn on the constraints. Can try and so entities to copy. If I select everything from here to here, yeah, it doesn't copy the external relations. I mean, it says keep relations, and it does keep the relations in, like it keeps this tangent and the vertical, it keeps everything that's kind of like contained in those lines, but it doesn't keep the external relations, like this being externally connected to another sketch. Make it fixed before copy. Okay, I'll try. Fix. Copy entities. Nope. It's a real bitch. Need to undo this. Fix. Complicated, yes. Yeah, I don't know. There must be a way, surely. I'm sure I'm not the first person who's had this problem. Sketch entities. Oh no, stretch entities. That's not what I want. Interesting content to put later on YouTube if you reach finally the way. Yeah, I just don't know how many people are complaining about this problem. Dealing with these small things is a real pain in the ass. Yeah, you're right though. Like if there was a YouTube video about fixing this that I could find, I would be super grateful for it, and I would definitely be liking and subscribing. Yeah, I think I need to keep hunting around in forums and maybe ask some people on the SolidWorks support page. Scale entities. Modify a sketch, maybe that. I saw somebody using that. No solve move. No solve. Move sketch entities without solving the dimensions or relations. In the subreddit, people are very helpful with this kind of problems. Yeah, I was actually in that subreddit today talking to people specifically about this. It's just really hard to convey what it is I'm even trying to solve. Like I put a bunch of screenshots in there and tried to explain it, but I think and people were suggesting derive sketches, use a sketch pattern and stuff, and it's like, I get it, but it doesn't really solve the problem. But they were very helpful. Move entities is the same as copy. Yeah, I don't know. Let's try this modify sketch. A sketch with external references to model geometry cannot be translated or rotated. Well, SolidWorks, it would be great if it could be. Whatever. Let's do some design. Gonna line these up with each other. And I'm not sure if I want them to be aligned with the inside of the enclosure. Or the outside of the enclosure. See you next time, man. Hope to see you again around here. I hope to see you here, man. It's awesome that you found the stream. And yeah, cool talking to people who are also interested in this stuff. I hope that more people like you come and join in. It was great talking to you. And hopefully next time we speak, I can tell you the answer to this problem. Looks like these are inside the enclosure and these are flush with the outside. So maybe I'll do it like that for now until I change my mind. So let's go like this. Yep, sure. I will try the software installed to follow you at the time with my SolidWorks. Yeah, nice. That'd be sweet. Awesome, man. Catch you later. Thanks for joining. Okay. Whoa, what happened? Just put these in a random position for now. Why does it keep defaulting to inches? What the hell? What do you mean inches? No, if I put another jack on the PCB right, it's going to be in front of this one. So I really need to do it on PCB front, don't I? So was there any reason for me to do it in PCB right? Should the height of the PCB be defined in the right plane or the front plane? I don't know, but I think that's a problem for future me. For now, I'm going to put in this jack on the front. Okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Copy this. Paste. Where did it go? I made a new sketch by accident. Whoops. Okay. Aligning these with the top sketch, and I'll align them horizontally. Look pretty sleepy. Yeah, I wore a smartwatch last night to bed because it tells you, it was one of those Garmin smartwatches, and it tells you like what your sleep score is and like how much deep sleep you got and how much body battery you have, because technically in the morning you should have like 100% battery, and I woke up with 40% battery. I slept for like 7 hours, but apparently my sleep score was like 40. So I don't know what happened. So I'm going to show how I can make these jacks the same height as these jacks, even though they're going to go through the PCB. I feel that in my soul. Yeah, I guess that's part of getting old. I mean, I'm not that old, I guess. I'm 31 now. I'm old enough to nearly forget how old I am. Yeah, I saw a funny picture on a meme on Instagram before that said like, getting old is like at some point you start feeling a little bit tired, and then you just feel like that forever. It's like, that sounds great. Looking forward to that. Well, I'm already there. I'll be 33 next month. It's because we're old. Yeah. Yep, I think so. You got a slight head start on me. You're gonna have to warn me about the upcoming dangers of being old. Can give me a couple of years heads up. Be like, just letting you know, your knees are gonna be your knees are gonna be in pain every morning when you wake up. Okay, I want to insert this transparent device, which is transparent because I turned off the solid bodies. Your hairline is in much better shape than mine. Oh, I don't know. It's creeping back a little bit here, I think. Luckily, both of my grandfathers are passed away now, but I don't think either of them were balding. So I might be lucky on that one. Well, they might have been a little bit balding. But you never know. Maybe I get some genetics from one of my grandmothers, and that ruins my hairline. I don't know. Gramps went bald at 17. Oof. That's it's not a good start. I'm doing great. Well, yeah, by comparison you can say like you're an overachiever. I did the wrong thing. This needs to be parallel. And then right plane parallel to right plane. Okay, then for top plane can be linked to this, and right plane can be linked to this, and front plane is linked to this. Yeah, nice. Okay, 1 MIDI jack. Let's copy with mates. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Boom, boom, boom. 2 MIDI jacks. And an enclosure with no holes in it. Got to put some holes in the enclosure. Rear holes. Got a Roland SH40 coming in tomorrow, and it will be my only piece of hardware that has drum oriented stuff that I won't need to program. When this drum machine is ready to rock, I'll snag one. Nice. Yeah, by all means, use what you can find for now, because who knows how long this will take. Why does it keep giving me inches as my input? I don't want inches. Just make these equal. Actually, should have just done the same thing with these, just make them equal. Alright. Let me just check why it keeps giving me the old British units. That will give me time to practice more before I get my hands on it. Then I'll work on some demo tracks for it. Lol. You mean you'll work on demo tracks for this? For the LDM? That'd be sick. Somebody changed my units, somebody being me somehow, to inches, pounds, seconds. Yeah, bro. Hell yeah, man. Be sweet to get you to do some videos and stuff. I'm sure when it's finished, you'll be one of the first people to hear about it. Maybe we can make some prototypes and send one to you. No promises yet, though. I have no idea how much this thing's gonna cost. Wait, let me look up this device you told me about. SH4D. Oh, I'm really bad with the names of all this stuff. I know a lot more about designing these tools than I know about using them. Cool. Okay. Drum sequencer, I guess. Actually, I think I had a friend who had one of these. Possibly. Looks like a decent piece of kit. I love working with new gear and trying stuff out. I would be stoked to help out with anything. Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. Can be a tester. Why didn't my holes come through? Where's my rear hole? Hey? There we go. Yeah, I am getting tired. If the dimensions of this device gets around Octatrack 2, that it would be killer. Yeah, I think that's a good size too. It's good size to fit in your backpack. The Roland is roughly the same size. Yeah, that's cool. Maybe I should make those holes the same as this inner diameter. Or something in between. My biggest concern I'd have is desk space. Any chance for VESA mounting options? Yeah, could be on the cards. Could be. Yeah, I'll look into it. If there's space to put some threaded inserts in the back, we could do VESA mount, yeah. No promises. But I think that I feel like Yesa is like as OCD as I am, and I feel like he would get some satisfaction out of using a standard like VESA mount. I think he'd get a kick out of that. I'll ask him about it. Alright, check it out, we got MIDI jacks. Now the only thing is, as you can see, they're halfway through this PCB. So I need to solve that. Might be a useful thing, not critical. I think it'd be great to have it. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. My only concern is that they need to be like, so I can put threaded inserts in the back of the device, and if there's a gap to the PCB like this, then that's fine. I can fit them in there, but there might need to be holes going through the PCB so that if you use a long screw, that it doesn't the screw doesn't like smash into the PCB, but it also needs to not smash into the back of the display or something. So yeah, I'd have to put threaded holes in there, maybe with a cap on the end of the threaded hole so that the screw can't go through and destroy something. It's definitely, I can definitely look into it for sure. And yeah, I don't want this thing to be bigger than it needs to be. I think nice compact devices are great. It's also cheaper and lighter, which makes shipping cheaper. Yeah, capping the threaded inserts I think makes a lot of sense. Yeah, but in terms of desk space, I think it shouldn't. We'd try to make it not bigger than it needs to be. I like the low profile you've designed so far. Yeah, I mean it might even be lower profile than this. Like judging by the size of the jacks, like there's still a fair bit of space below the PCB. So I think it's going to come down to what kind of switches we use, because we're going to use key switches. I actually brought up some stuff here. Like mechanical keyboard switches like these. I'm not sure if we use the normal profile ones or the low profile ones. The low profile will mean that it can be a little bit thinner. And I think that might be better for timing, like when you're hitting the key. I think the low profile has a lower actuation distance. So if you want to hit the button like perfectly on time, I think with the low actuation distance that'd be better. And then we just got to find out what kind of caps we can put on there. Will there be independent outs as well as USB, or just stereo out? Independent outs as well as USB, or on USB? I think we're only planning to have stereo out. If you mean independent outs per channel, like an output per drum channel, that might be possible with USB. It will just be a matter of whether we can make decent enough audio drivers. If we can make like a class compliant audio driver, then that would be possible. I just don't know how much hassle that is, because I know at mod that it's a hassle. Like making it class compliant is fine, but having it be compatible with Windows, for example, is a pain in the ass, because you need basically custom drivers. But making it work on Mac and Linux is probably pretty easy. Well, not easy, but doable. But yeah, so these key switches, I also need to consider them when it comes to the height. That's why I'm leaving it a bit taller for now. What I want to do though now is put this little vertical PCB in for the MIDI jacks, which means I need to go back here, go to my PCB top. Sounds good. Check out that Roland a bit more. It does 6 stereo lanes out over USB and 2 main outs. It does have its own driver though. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm worried about. There's a company, I'm aware of a company that makes USB drivers for products like this. But I think it's pretty expensive. make another 1.6 millimeter. I'm on Mac, so I don't have the same aggregate device issues as the ASIO for All does. Yeah. Yeah, I think can probably make something that works pretty well for Mac and Linux. Just, I'm a Windows boy, so I won't be able to use it, but that's fine. What's happening here? Whoops. Why is this blue? Why are you blue? Come on, what's going on? Why is this blue? What is happening? You should work on a mixer / audio interface that records stems down the road. The blue box is almost perfect but doesn't transmit audio over USB. You can record stems and pull them off from SD card. You should work on a mixer / audio interface that records stems. So you want to record the stems on the device and then transmit them to the computer over audio? Like why not just record the stems into software? Bro, what is happening here? What did I do? What is this? Oh, well that fixed it. Okay. Maybe this is a better way to do it. Make these equal. Alright, do you see what I'm doing here? I'm being a bit fancy. Is this starting to make sense yet? PCB front. It's all gonna make sense very soon. I want curved corners. Put curved corners on everything. There's no need for a PCB to have sharp corners. Why should it? Fillets are free. That's something everybody used to say at uni. It depends what manufacturing method you're using, but if you're laser cutting something, fillets are free. If you're machining something, fillets are free, depending where the fillet is. Most of the time, or a lot of the time, fillets are free, so why not use them? Okay. Uh-oh. PCB broken. Uh-oh. Ah, yes. That's exactly what I wanted. Oh no! It's okay, I had to change this part anyway. Some more fillets because they're free. I should be putting this in the master sketch, but that's alright. This is a little trick here with, this is what you do when you're laser cutting something. If you got sharp internal corners like this, put little holes in the corners, and then you put little fillets like this. make them equal. And you trim all of this. And then that, oops. Where's my PCB top? Ah, right. Yeah, what that does is means that the laser cutter or whatever cutter can cut around in a continuous loop so that it doesn't leave any like little scraps in the middle, and then whatever you're going to slot into here will slot all the way into the corner without interfering with anything. Design for manufacture 101. Okay. Boom. Now we got a hole in our PCBs that conveniently fits around the jacks. Those pins are a little bit of a worry, but we'll sort that out. Now I need to make another PCB. So I'm gonna save as new. PCB 2, save, copy and open. Bro, Jesse and James, this thing better have a reference to Pokemon Team Rocket. Yeah, I mean, technically mod devices should as well, right? Yeah, what kind of reference can we put in there without getting sued by Nintendo? Is it Nintendo? I can't remember. Who owns Pokemon? Game Freak. Do they own the show as well? But yeah, they're probably litigious. Well, I know that Nintendo are definitely litigious. They love suing people. Maybe we can make like a little what do you call it? Like a mascot that's a cat. Some kind of a cat. Call it meow. I don't know. We could make the slogan live drum machine blasts off at the speed of light. Okay, is this gonna look weird? I need to insert it. Whoa. That's not right. What? There we go. What's happening? Why is it doing that? Oh, maybe because I'm in perspective view. There we go. Didn't know perspective view did that. I'll spend some time researching Team Rocket reference. That sounds like a pretty good use of time. Yo, what's going on here? Ah, okay. I'm an idiot. I am getting tired. PCB top, PCB front. This needs to be in line with this. This needs to be in line with this. And this is totally wrong. Boom. What? Is it working? There we go. Okay. See what I did? So the MIDI jacks are on a vertical PCB, while the other jacks are not. The only thing is that these pins are going through the board there. So that doesn't work. But I can fix that. I'll just make a little cutout in the board here for the pins. How do you add support to that? Good question. So what I was thinking is you can get these little things that solder into the PCB and stand upright, and they have a little screw hole in it. So I'll put a screw through this into that little thing that's soldered down onto the board. So it's kind of like a little angle support. And I think that'll work. It should strengthen it up pretty well. I could even put screws through the enclosure into that support, so it's even screwed to the edge of the enclosure as well. Not sure yet. Yeah. And I can make this a bit shorter too, it doesn't need to be that tall. It can even be like the same height as the jacks. And I might even make like a little slot in the PCB so that like some sections of this PCB slot through it, and it will kind of lock in. And then I could even have like a socket, like a pin socket thing that like this PCB actually plugs into the other PCB, and you'd be able to remove it. Lots of ideas. Yes. I am feeling very tired. And I haven't eaten. And I think the supermarket closes soon. So I think I might wrap it up. Would TRS be better? We thought about TRS. Like, we had TRS MIDI jacks on the Mod Dwarf. Yeah, I'll jump off in a sec. Yeah, TRS is fine. The only, like, I think TRS is very clean. It takes up not so much space. It's only a little bit annoying because you need adapters for other devices that have the full size DIN MIDI, and the adapters, like, the adapters aren't that bad. The problem is that half of the manufacturers did one type of wiring while the other did the other type of wiring. So there's kind of like TRS MIDI A and TRS MIDI B. They just switched the polarity of two of the wires, which is just like completely unnecessary, and it was just a lack of communication or a lack of consistency between manufacturers, which is super annoying. So yeah. And these connectors are a bit more stable as well, a bit sturdy, more sturdy. Rocket Kit sells TRS to DIN, a standard, isn't it? The thing is, there's two standards. There's like A and B. Yeah, so it's kind of luck of the draw if you get the right one. And then you have to decide if you're gonna put TRS MIDI jacks on a device, you have to decide if you're gonna do the A wiring or the B wiring, because I think one of them was technically selected as like what is supposed to be the official MIDI standard, but that one that's the official MIDI standard is the less common one, so it's annoying. Can your inputs do a detection of A and B and adjust appropriately? That I'm not sure about. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's like one's positive and one's negative or something. Yeah, I don't know if it can automatically change. I'm sure if it could, we would have thought about doing that on the Mod Dwarf. I have some great gear that auto selects. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about how it works. But Yessa made a request that he would like to have the full size DIN MIDI ports, which I think is fair. Like, they're a lot more heavy duty. So I just said to him, like, okay, if we're gonna do it, let's do it. But I would rather use these less tall jacks if possible, in this weird configuration that I'm mocking up here, because the other ones are just too big. I don't know why they made them so big. Like, why couldn't they just cut this top section off? But anyway, I digress. I think this is a cool solution. It's fun mechanically for me as well. The other guys might say that it's excessive, but I've seen it done on other products, so I think it's not too crazy. Gives you a lot more flexibility in where you put jacks. We could actually make all of the jacks vertical mount like this. Like these TRS jacks can be vertical as well, but they're a bit taller, I think, when they're vertical. We can put like, we could put buttons on here, or LEDs, or yeah, we can put a power button or something on there. We can put, I said LEDs already. I don't know, you could put potentiometers or encoders and stuff, whatever, on there. So I think it's nice to have this. But yeah, anyway, I just want an orange screen for some reason. It's the only color I don't have. Well, I think it'll be a full color display. We can maybe have themes for the UI, so you can color it different colorways. I don't know. My first computer ever had an orange screen. Let me show you. It was one of these bad boys. I don't remember exactly which model it was, but it was a Micro B brand, and it had this like orange on black text display. Yeah, topic for later. I might get to do some of the UI design too, which could be fun. Could stream that as well, like the actual screen layouts and stuff. But yeah, this was my first ever computer. That's some Fallout level screens. I'm pretty sure from memory it wasn't a pixel display either. Like, I don't think it's that one. I think it was just ANSI characters. So like if you had a game or something, the game would have to use all no, what is it, ASCII characters or something? Yeah, I think these are all characters. I don't know. Oops. Yeah. Anyway. Going way off track now. And absolutely love that computer screen. It was pretty dope. Unfortunately, I think my dad got rid of it, but it was pretty cool. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go eat. So thanks for hanging around. Yeah, next time I'll make this a little bit neater and more mechanically sound. I like where it's going. Cool. So yeah, thanks for tuning in again. Love having you here, Elk. And to the other guy who was here earlier, Ulysses. That was cool for him to join in and talk CAD stuff for a bit. I think I'm gonna meet up with Yessa tomorrow or Thursday, perhaps, and we'll do some more concept sketching and talking about the actual usability of the device and how it's going to function and everything. So hopefully we get a little bit more insight into what I should be doing here. Of course, Broham, this machine is looking great. I hope you have a good night, James. Thanks heaps, man. Yeah, I hope you have a good night too, or a good day in America. Andy, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I've been going for just over 2 hours, so I'm going to wrap it up now. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You can go back and watch it if you want. You were saying to me the other day, Andy, that you don't understand what my job is. Well, this maybe will give you some insight. Anyway, keep getting sucked back into talking more shit. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one. Catch you later. Oh, wrong button.